All right. Good evening, everyone. Whoa,
Good evening.
I'm still getting crazy echo from you.
From me?
Yeah.
How about now? Like, let me know if it's better now.
Okay. No, I don't hear myself coming back now, I don't think.
Okay. All right, that's cool. I think it might have just been my mixer.
Oh, okay.
I
All
think I might have
right.
been sending your audio back to you.
Yeah, I think you're actually seeing me kind of some loud audio, I think.
How about now?
Maybe. Well, let's roll with it for a bit.
All right, let's see. Because I know that my audio has been really loud in your streams lately.
Yeah, I mean, I've had to pull yours down quite a bit, even normally. Yeah.
Well, hopefully this helps now.
Yeah.
We'll see. We'll see if I brought it way down.
Okay.
So let's see.
I mean, as for mine, I mean, I would just say adjust your volume based on my volume because I can't.
I am blowing out. I should be not blowing out now. Hopefully.
Yeah, you shouldn't be. But my audio, like, I mean, there's not a lot more up that I can put on mine right now.
Right. Okay. Let's see. It should be better now.
Yeah. I think you're pretty good.
Okay. I had the gain up. I think because of last week.
Okay. Volume levels sound pretty balanced now.
Okay. That's what we want.
Well, I mean that's what I'm asking, but it sounds like we're good now. So that controller video is like crazy, right?
Yeah. I mean, I don't think we quite knew exactly what to expect from it.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. It's blown away my expectations.
Yeah, me too. I mean, you kept saying you thought it would be pretty popular because people just like videos like that. Looking at random. People like controller videos and accessories and things like that.
Right.
And you're like, I think it's going to do pretty good. No, I definitely thought it would, but I mean, we were just coming off of being so impressed with how well the Castlevania video did. And this one's like, it's about to match it in terms of views already.
In 6 days.
Yeah.
Not that discourages us from doing videos like Castlevania.
Oh, no. I mean, I'm much more interested in doing videos like Castlevania more often than stuff like controller video, but definitely blew our expectations away. And literally no one complained about how long it was.
Yeah, it's
like most people were excited it was that long.
Yeah, I think that's that it was very surprising. Here's the thing. I think when it comes, for me at least, when it comes to controller, like videos about controllers, I don't want to really watch a video that's like 10 minutes on a single controller. I think it's more fun if it's like 2-3 minutes on a controller. It's like, oh, let's like look at it really quick. And I think that really helps it move is because there's so many controllers in it that I think that's what people are kind of watching, and they keep watching because they don't know what's going to be next, I guess.
Yeah.
Because I mean, there's a lot of controllers in that thumbnail, and that's only like half of them.
Yeah, I was disappointed. I mean, I've got the Brawler 64, but I felt like you kind of had more variety with the controllers you had available to you. So there were a lot of people were like, I just clicked on this for the Wu-Tang controller.
That's true. I mean, there's a lot of comments about that, but there's a lot of disappointment that we didn't cover the Hori N64.
Yeah, a lot. Which I can get. I mean, there was one comment that was even like, this is not to the standard of an MLiG video, simply speculating on a controller rather than showing it. It's like, I mean, that was kind of strange to me to get that comment, but to say I can see where they're coming from because we do tend to be so thorough, but like that was not really the goal with this episode. Like the goal with this episode was let's just like look at a whole bunch of stuff. It really had nothing to do with like thoroughness or hitting everything. It was just like, let's look at a bunch of stuff, as much stuff as we can. And you know, when I thought of the Hori controller, I was like, well, like, there's just no way that we're really going to get our hands on one. I don't want to own one particularly. And
I mean, I'd like to own one, but they are expensive.
yeah. And then people were like, you know, you could have borrowed one. But, I mean, it wasn't really the thought process with this episode. The thought process for me was more like, oh, I should mention it because I know people will probably say, I can't believe you did. It wasn't the kind of episode where I was thinking of making it a priority to get my hands on rarities like that.
Yeah, and I think it's definitely a subject we'll probably return to in the future. I mean, I would like to do something that's like official controllers. I think it would be a lot of fun too.
Yeah, or I mean,
not like typical controllers, I guess, that are official, but you know, see what else there is, you know.
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, there were some people saying like, there was someone said like no Steel Battalion controller. Well, I mean that is, I mean I guess it is third party because it's Capcom, but it's really only good for one game. I don't think we were looking.
Well, I think that would be fun for another one. And well, here's my rationalization. It's like, oh, this is missing. It was 55 minutes long.
Yeah,
I think that
exactly.
We did the best that we could in the time that we had for this.
Right.
It doesn't mean that it's everything. Like it's everything that we have. I mean, there was 3 controllers that I have that I wanted to include, but we didn't just have enough time. I didn't record it.
Yeah. I mean, it was produced in a very condensed and efficient way.
Yeah, and it's something I think we're going to do more in the future.
Mm-hmm.
There's something really satisfying. It makes you feel like you're moving along when you piecemeal it out like that, the way that we did it.
Yeah, for sure.
It makes you almost feel like, oh, you know, we have, because there was some thoughts in my mind the day before we released it, saying like, we have all this stuff. What if we just like saved a couple of them? Like, what if we split it in half?
But I don't know if it would have done as well. Like people wanted that long video.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's what's so much fun about it. Is that you don't know what's going to be in it.
Yeah. So
while you're gonna be playing Gradius.
Yeah, when while I was recording some, I'm going for now anyway. I'm going to just be playing with a standard controller. But when I was recording some footage of the ASCII pad, I was just like playing it, and I wasn't even using the turbo function, which, I mean, I don't think the turbo actually gains you like any like extra shots really. Like, as long as you're just like kind of hitting the button at a pretty normal pace, like you're going to be firing off all your shots, I think. But yeah, Sandy, I know you're riled up. I'll throw your moose. But I was just like, I was doing really good. Like, I've messed around a bit and just played a little bit of like the first 2 levels before, but I got to like, I want to say maybe the 4th level without dying. I was pretty impressed with myself. I wasn't even trying really.
Yeah.
But
you know, this game specifically for us Genesis kids, this was the game that we use as an example of why the Super NES is nowhere near as good as the Genesis. because the slowdown is incredible in this game.
It's true.
But you know, looking back though, I don't think that's a bad thing, especially for how difficult the Gradius games generally are. Because for people that haven't played Gradius, if you die, you
can't rebuild.
It's very difficult to rebuild.
So do you have any strong feelings about about which thing to choose here?
I have not finished this one.
Oh, really?
The only Gradius game I've ever beat legit is Gradius 5.
I mean, I've generally heard this is considerably easier than the arcade version. But,
oh yeah, that doesn't surprise me.
But in terms of, I mean, I'm sure there's some people that have very strong feelings about what mode you should. I don't know if this is a bad opinion. I kind of like the Ripple just because it seems to have a wide radius.
Ace says to use option setup 3. Give it a shot.
Vertical, I could see how that could be nice. What about? Oh wait. Oh, you can edit them too.
Oh really?
Yeah. How do I select the shield type and what's the difference?
The Ripple laser can't go through targets, unlike the Cyclone laser in step 3. That's what Ace said. I don't know. Ace
it's a
knows his
C
stuff.
laser. I didn't notice that.
Yeah, I trust this.
Well, let's try it. What about the shield time?
I'm preferential to the force field.
What was it?
It's only one hit from anywhere, but in the shield it can take multiple hits from the front.
Ah. Yeah, I could see what's nice about that.
This game has a really good soundtrack. I used music from this game in the controllers video. I think it's from the arcade version.
I feel like I like 2 speeds. I think.
Oh, see, I only update it once.
I mean, I've I mean, what was it? Whoa! Oops. That was a bad start. Bad start. I should probably
get your footing.
I was experimenting with.
You are not a shooter pro. This is not your genre.
No, I mean the only one I've beaten is Life Force.
Yeah, which is in its own right, it's pretty difficult.
It was pretty tough. It was a while ago though. It was a while ago. But it in Glay Lancer, you don't have to pick up speed upgrades. You can just like adjust the speed, and I liked 1 speed up.
Yeah, I could see that.
Yeah, it was probably too early to get that missile. Man, I'm doing bad. I was doing like awesome when I was.
It's okay.
I'm not. You know what? I'm not going to reset.
Yeah, you just keep on trying it. Just keep on trying.
I thought I already did a speed up.
It's gonna be a long night.
Oh, I'm sure. I'm sure people will be feeling a lot of pain watching how I play this.
Yeah.
You know. Oh. Man, what happened to the other day? I was using. I guess it was the ASCII pad. I wasn't even using turbo.
I mean, a lot of things.
I was using 2 speeds. So.
You know, the ASCII pad is made with like original OEM parts.
I know.
You can actually take. This is what
I did it. I put the buttons. I swapped the buttons.
I kind of want to do that.
Kid.
I kind of do. You put them back or you keep them like that?
I think I intended to put them back, but I kind of screwed up in like my original ASCII pad. Like, gosh.
Okay. I'm not worried about it. Yeah, I did get a special thanks in the new DF Retro video. It's kind of cool. It's cool. It was like front and center my name. I was not expecting that. All I did was I had a couple of PlayStation launch commercials that I found on a few like off-air recordings of mine, like from when I was a teenager. Taping stuff off of MTV back in the day, and I was kind of going through them and just recording them, and I had them set aside for eventually like another video game commercials episode. But you know, I had 3 commercials, like a Ridge Racer one, a console one, and a Battle Arena Toshinden. So I gave him those, and I also gave him the music that he used in like the second part of the video. It was off of the PlayStation Developers disc, the Wind Chimes track by Tony Tallarico. I used to listen to that all the time. I really like that tune.
All right, this is my bit will get going a little better here.
It's true. I mean, I never thought that these off-air recordings would be of any interest to me. I mean, I've had them for a long time. I mean, it's all this stuff from, you know, like 1994 through 1999, I believe. So I mean, there's some N64 stuff, some Dreamcast stuff here and there. When I was taping Green Day live from the 10 spots, Radiohead live from the 10 spots, or OK Computer Live, or something. Speaking of music, I had kind of a fun time. I got a better reaction to this than I originally thought. So on our Patreon, we do these weekly video logs, and this week I kind of did something non-game related, and I went through all of my old concert ticket stubs, and like the reaction to it was a lot more interested than I had originally intended. You must have been bored out of your mind watching that.
Yeah, kind of. I mean, I didn't know the vast majority of what you were even talking about, so. How many options can you get? I feel like I got 3 when I was playing before.
I think 3 might be the max. Actually,
I thought it was 2, but.
No, I mean, I know the Gradius 5 is 4. Okay, you can get 4. Yes, it's 4.
Oh, 4 in this? Really?
Yeah, I think that's how it is for everything.
It's kind of a lot. What are people's opinions on the right speed?
I think I saw somebody saying.
Oh no! I was getting greedy.
Right. It is what it is. A lot of people are saying 2 speeds. I've always been, I would say that 1 or 2 are the, you don't want to go faster than that.
Sandy, you're distracting me. I know you want to play right now, but you can play with your toys by yourself. It sounds like you're doing a good job of it back there. You've dragged your bed halfway across the room. Good work. Keep on doing that.
Yeah, I mean, my experience with 5 was that you just play it over and over and over again, and eventually you will get so good that you make it through the entire game without losing a lot. Essentially, I mean, in 5 I used to make it to like level 5 without dying.
I keep accidentally not getting all my not choosing speed and choosing the missile or whatever.
Gradius 5 is by attrition.
Oh no. That's, oh, okay, that's shield. Oh wow. I accidentally went too far.
I don't quite understand why they make the shield the question mark. It's kind of like, why?
What's
You
the
know?
exclamation mark?
That might be like a screen clear. Like a kills all the enemies. You know, it was also a big hit in the new episode is your drawing.
Oh
You
yeah.
made in Mario Paint. I think that drawing sold a number of those optical mouses. Optical mice. Yeah. Because there's a lot of people saying, "Oh, I didn't even know it was optical. That's a huge deal." And it really is. But I don't know. I think the best part about it is just composite.
Composite video.
Yeah.
I was going to just call it composite because, like, a lot of times we'll get comments that, like, say composite when they clearly mean component or vice versa.
Mm-hmm.
I almost think that would have been funnier, but then I decided to make up my own word.
Yeah, I think it's funny because it's something in between that nobody has heard of. I'm not into that component stuff. I use composite. Oh, you haven't heard about it? Oh, well, kind of obscure. That'd be a good band name.
Composite.
Composite is better than S video, but not quite as good as component. Or maybe that'd just be a good an alternate name for S video.
There you go. Oh wow, this laser got that thing a lot faster than the Ripple.
I like that it advances from stage to stage seamlessly.
Yeah, is it always seamless?
Yeah. Actually, you know what? It is not in 5, I don't think.
Well, I meant seamless in this specific game.
I think that the Ace did not steer you wrong.
I mean, it threw me off a little at first, but well, I don't think I could totally blame that for my performance. But.
People are talking about those tiny arcades. I've not seen them in action. Are they? I mean, I haven't seen one in person. I've seen some videos on them, but
Wait,
I haven't really. They're just what?
How did I lose my laser? Oh, is vertical replaces?
Yes.
Oh.
You gotta have one or the other.
Okay. Oh well. Oh. How many levels are in this one?
I don't know. I'll leave that one to the chat to answer. I'm sure there's some people.
I mean, I'm not really expecting to finish it tonight, but you know, get a handle on the game.
Seth says, I love that it took you that long to notice you weren't using the laser.
It wasn't that long, was it?
It was a decent amount of time. I noticed.
Oh no!
So I wonder, is this? I mean, is this the music from the first level of the first game, right here on here?
I'm not real sure. Not too accustomed
like
to
it.
the first one. For some reason, I don't know what it is, but I keep screwing up and not getting speed. Like I think I'm picking up
Well,
my
the thing
first
is, when you die and you restart, you start with 1 speed automatically.
Oh. Or you start with 1 thing on speed.
Yes.
I feel like at this point in the game, I'm going to start needing 2 speed.
Okay. Hey, you know, whatever works for you. You don't have to. Yeah, well, it's nice. I mean, 2 might be what I've used a lot of the time too. So the good thing about 5 is that you respawn, you know, right there. There's no going back to the checkpoint.
Mm. That was a quick game over. You know, I love run and gun games, and I don't know what it is about shmups that's like always been so different and intimidating to me.
Mm-hmm.
Ugh.
Well, you know, Smokey, I understand that it might be difficult to watch, but it's okay. You know, he's not a shooter master for one thing, and you know, like he can learn it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going.
Just because you don't have all the power-ups from the very beginning of the game doesn't mean that it's unbeatable.
Right. I mean, in theory, you should be working your skills up to that point, but I'm never going to like get any better if I just like only play from the beginning of the game.
Yeah, he's like learning the progression as he goes.
And hey,
It's okay.
you know, you could still in this level easily, I'm sure. Well, maybe not easily, but you can work yourself out of a tight spot this early in the game. If you've died once, you can still rebuild at this point. I wouldn't say it'd be that crazy.
And shooters are all about learning the level progression.
Mm-hmm.
You'll get real good at the first level over and over again. I'd rather see what I'm up against gradually.
That spot is tough to get through moving that slow.
You might not make it past it on this run. It's okay. It's not the end of the world. We are certainly not capable of, you know, beating every game during every stream.
Sometimes it's just to get started.
Yes. Or to see if you feel like you want to continue.
Oh no, this kind of stuff.
Oh,
and like I can push the screen forward myself. I'm kind of uncomfortable with that.
Does it respawn?
No, it doesn't seem like it. I definitely don't like the shoot through stuff part of Life Force.
Yeah. not fun. I've never beat it legitly.
Life Force?
Yeah, I mean...
Oh, I didn't see those guys coming from behind me. I think I was the last continue. At least I made some progress there toward the end.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's pretty good. Are you playing on a Super NES or Super NT?
I am playing on the modded, the RGB modded Junior. Oops, I just chose the wrong shield. Not that it really matters.
If you need more credits, mash X on the title screen.
I mean, you know me. I like.
You're not a cheat code guy.
No, I don't like using cheat codes. I like to play legit. Even if I'm pretty bad, I like to play legit.
Yeah. Mini documentary on game preservation, something along those lines. I mean, I think that's something that'd be very interesting to us, for sure. And we certainly have the contacts at this point. But there's a lot of people doing cool stuff with that stuff right now too. We'll see. We'll see. We might have some similar stuff already in the works.
Yeah, there's
like
some overlap with that, I'd say, with what projects we're already working on.
Yeah. It is very respectable that he doesn't use cheat codes. I mean, I think that I don't use cheat codes. I'm not above putting it on easy, which is something I guess I really didn't do until I had kids, and it's like, well, I don't have time. I don't have all day.
I used to put games on easy like a long time ago, but I've tried to not do it. You know, in the past. Since like after college, I think I was like, I decided to try to do default difficulty.
Retro Gaming Systems Collector says that our 4K episode is one of the most informative about 4K setups in 2018-2019. The very best I have ever seen.
Thank you. I think I might have accidentally chosen extra speed. I'm not sure.
You know,
it's hard to tell when it's slowing down. I feel like I'm moving pretty fast. Maybe too fast.
Adam Jenkins is excited to play Phantasy Star 1 when it comes out on the Switch. So I very close to hopefully around that time, I'm hoping to do the best way to play the original Phantasy Star series. But we'll see what happens. It's overly ambitious, but I don't think that it's going to be like a ridiculous amount of work. But we'll see.
So basically, I think I'm like fully powered up, except I should get a shield, which...
Yeah, I mean, that's all you gotta do. Did you die?
Yeah.
Thoughts on the Polymega? Lock Strife 37 asks.
Has there been any news on it recently at all?
Yeah, I mean, I gotta say, like, I haven't thought about it at all.
Yeah.
It's in a long time. So, no thoughts as of recent.
I don't have a lot of thoughts of it in general, really.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll be interested to look at when it's out. I'm not like actively anticipating per se.
Yeah, the Switch version of Phantasy Star is pretty cool. I've had a chance to try it out, and it is pretty cool, especially for like fans of this series. I feel that there is less options in adjusting the game and difficulty than there is in the Sega Ages 2500 Phantasy Star Collection that M2 also did. It's kind of a all or nothing kind of situation.
Right, because didn't you say that like you can't use the mapping feature without also using like the tweaked difficulty level?
Right.
Which that's kind of a bummer.
It definitely is kind of a bummer. And you know, I mean, you can turn off the map. So if you wanted to say have to tweak difficulty, the difference is.
But I want the map with the original difficulty level.
Right, and as far as I know, that is not possible. That's why I think the PS2 Sega Ages collection is probably, when it comes to the video, the Sega Ages collection is probably going to be the best way to play it, because it has normal and it also has hard, and it has harder difficulty levels if you want that kind of thing. But the thing is it's not even a doesn't give the enemies more hit points or anything. All it does is give you like a multiple of experience per fight. So in that way, it's not actually making the game easier. It's just making it more just easier to play. It's just making, you know, it's just making it quicker and more efficient. So it technically is the original difficulty. Just you don't have to walk back and forth on the shoreline and farm mermen for hours to reach level 30.
I saw someone asking if you could RGB mod and HDMI mod N64 at the same time, and yes.
Yes. What build is on Steam of the first Phantasy Star? I don't think that there is one on the first Phantasy Star, is there? Have we ever thought about changing up our upload schedule? For example, making shorter videos more often. Maybe making even 3-part videos or 2-part videos in a span of a month.
I mean,
we are getting faster, I think. And we just ran into a situation where we were having an episode every other week. It's just we ran into a situation where we had to wait for something last minute that we were expecting, and that's why we ended up doing on another episode, so we ended up having to put that on hold.
Right, which will hopefully be out next weekend. That's the goal.
That is right. And you know, like I think that we will be happy with every 2 weeks, but if we can get to a place where we are ahead, we will make it more often. And there definitely are shorter videos that we like to do, that we will be doing as well.
We were really into the idea of shorter videos earlier this year, but we kind of have lately felt like people just seem more interested in the bigger videos.
Right. And that's kind of the way YouTube is headed recently, I guess. It's like there's a lot more interest in longer videos. And that is totally fine. That is totally fine. And I don't foresee us ever wanting to like splitting an episode in half.
Yeah.
Because I don't like the idea of all the information like not being in one video. Everything we do is separate. We live about 8 hours apart. Hang on, I gotta put on the baby monitor.
I want to go to edit mode.
But yeah, I mean, I think that we will probably, I mean, we have a lot of stuff kind of coming, so it's gonna be fairly regular. Right?
So, I'm trying to figure out what does edit mode not have like? Can I not do speed up on edit mode or?
I don't know.
Surely it's got to be on. Like, cause I kind of want a tail gun. Like, I like the laser. Is it possible to use the C laser with a tail gun?
I don't know. We have a lot of RPGs. Why don't you guys stream one game? I think that, you know, I would like to experiment with an RPG on our Twitch, but you won't really see us doing it on here on our Sunday night, because I think that we like just kind of keep it breezy and more show-like, I guess, for our Sunday night. Sometimes you finish something, sometimes we finish something, sometimes we don't.
Whoa, what are
I wouldn't want to start an RPG on here because
yeah, it's just too much like paying attention and stuff. Like
yeah,
your mindset is different when you're streaming. For us anyway. What are all these different types of options? Like rotating options.
Oh yeah, so that stuff is all.
I feel like what's S option? I feel like these would be better than just the follow options.
Yeah, I'm sure.
I think F option is like formation. I don't know what S is though.
Bumtree says I prioritize the spread bomb over everything else. Nothing is better for quicker boss takedown.
Is that small spread?
I don't know. I mean, probably not on here. I probably wouldn't do Snatcher. I think I messed around with Snatcher a little bit on here, but I think that I would. I mean, I think that once we kind of get into a routine or get caught up, I think that you'll see us doing a lot of streams on our Twitch channel, like during the day, and then we can piecemeal out a game that way and just like play it throughout the week. We kind of did that a couple of weeks ago with Bomberman, where you played it I think 3 days in a row and played through the whole game. Bomberman Hero. And I recorded footage and I just streamed what I was recording.
I don't know what full barrier is, but let's see how this goes.
Try playing a game that uses a weird accessory like the Super Scope or the Sega Motion controller in the stream. We've done light gun games before.
And we did Steel Battalion.
Yeah, we did Steel Battalion. We did VR last week. Not exactly weird stuff, but I mean it's a little different. Is there anybody in the chat tonight that subscribed this week or this month? Really, we had like our biggest month ever, like in terms of like news. I mean, we had our second biggest month ever.
I hope no newcomers are appalled with this Gradius 3 action.
Yeah, I mean, well, you know what? We're not trying to impress anybody.
That's very true.
But it was our second biggest month. The only time we had a bigger month was when we did that N64 anti-aliasing hack video that exploded over the course of like 4 days, probably.
Yeah, that one was a little crazy.
In a lot of ways, the show is kind of a full-time, has become a full-time thing for us.
Well,
but we do
not in a lot of ways. It is.
Well, yes, but I mean, I'm saying like we do freelance projects.
Yeah.
On like as well. It's not the only thing. It's the main thing at this point.
I forgot that I was on level 3 when I did all that editing.
Snowy Cheat, I am getting my SSDS3 modded, and I will be doing a video on the mod, and I'm getting the audio mod and the video mod put in it. So Firebrand X's audio modification and the and Voltaire's RGB put in there, and Mobius Strike Tech is doing it for me. I just have to find some time to record footage of it pre-modded before I send it off to him, because I want to do a video. So, you know, I think it's also good for me to address like some of the things that have been fixed up in the firmware. In terms of the audio peaking, that was a problem when I did that video on it. But we're not the kind of channel that just is like, oh, here's a 3-minute video or a minute-long video on this firmware update. We're more of a channel that's like, okay, so if we're gonna do another like a follow-up video on this, we can do Mobius Strip Tech. You know, I always said Mobius Strip Tech because for some reason it just came out as Mobius Strip Tech. I thought there was an E in there for some reason. Sorry about that. I didn't. So I'd always said previously Mobius Strip Tech. It's the Mobius Strip. Yes. I don't know why I said stripe. But anyways, like that's not the way that we do things. We'd rather be able to include a lot more stuff in there. I did see that Pound said that they get like information from us, Pound Technologies, and I think it's interesting. I think it's interesting because like we never heard anything either. But they tried. Did you hear that? Like they.
I think people were asking like, why is it only 480i? And I think they were like justifying it by saying, I guess like.
Just doing like.
Like, oh look, like you know, the PS2 is all about 480i anyway, which is very true. But I still think it. I mean, I've never used one. I mean, I'm curious, but I mean, it would be nice if it had 480p for sure. I mean, a lot of PS2 games do use 480p. It's true.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so.
But I think the idea was that you know,
if at this point, if I die in the first level, I'm going reset.
I think it was on Reddit. I said it. It was a comment a long time ago. It was on Reddit, I think.
You know, this. I feel like would be considered a bad opinion to have, because as far as I know, there is no acceptable opinion other than that Vic Viper is the coolest shmup ship.
Oh yeah, I was just tweeting about that.
But like, the Vic Viper's fine. I don't think there's anything special about it. I mean, it's fine.
I just did a search to see if I could find it. It was somebody left it in a comment, and I didn't think, I thought it was totally fine if they said, oh, you know, we use this and that's like as a resource. I think that's absolutely fine.
Yeah, it doesn't bother me.
Yeah, I mean, I was just surprised.
I mean, the whole point of the
show, it seemed like they would be like, hey, you guys want to check this out? Which is like surprising. If that does that make sense? If they, you know, if they use it as a resource.
Sure. Yeah, I mean, the whole point of the videos though is for people to, you know, take the information and interpret it, you know, to how, you know, they think the best way should be with the information given. So, in that sense, you know, saying that 480p isn't important for PS2 is one interpretation. You know, I don't think it's the most important thing about PS2, certainly, but it would be it. I would say you should strive to have a PS2 option that supports it. But something that does perform well for something that does perform well for 480i is certainly worth giving good consideration to. I mean, just like with the RetroTink, you can't do 480p with the RetroTink, which makes it a little inconvenient. But at the same time, I kind of feel like the RetroTink does 480. I feel like it arguably does 480i better than the OSSC. See, I feel like the problem with always resetting is that, like, I don't know,
put down your reset button.
Yeah, I mean, it puts you in this, like, perfectionist mindset that I think can be more detrimental.
Yeah, that's not the way that you like to play games. We might do a bonus stream on Tuesday. I really want to do a bonus stream.
Yeah, I was thinking I wanted to do one on Thursday, and then I remembered, oh yeah, that was the day that you were busy.
Oh right, yeah. I mean, oh, this past Thursday? This past Thursday? Really? What did you want to stream?
Oh, I mean, it was just on my mind. I was just like, we should do a stream, and I was like, oh yeah.
Smokey the Rondo is saying to pick the Ripple.
I mean, you know, I let me do 2, because that's why I was doing 2 when I was playing before, and I didn't, you know, get as far as I got here, but I'll give it a try. I do like the idea of that laser, but I also like the idea of the Ripple. I mean, it does have a pretty wide spread, you know? I feel like people probably have very strong opinions that they're very protective of regarding Gradius progression.
So you are strictly in the mindset of calling it Gradius.
Not strictly. I go back and forth.
I say Gradius. I can't say Gradius. That's not how I do it. I've always just said Gradius.
It's like Gradius, like grade, like a grade you make in school. Gradius.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it probably is Gradius because I'm guessing it's Japanese mangling of like gladius, like a sword gladius. Like, doesn't Wonder Boy and Monsterland call the gladius the Gradius?
Yeah. You see so many streamers in gaming racing chairs. My life in gaming are in comfy boy chairs. Yeah, that's how we do it. We're recliners.
What's wrong with recliners?
No, nothing. I think that they think I think that a retro gaming systems collector thinks it's pretty, or it wasn't. No, sorry, it was not retro. It was
what is it? What do
Brad DL thinks it's really awesome.
Well, what do streamers normally sit at?
Usually streamers have these like these. I don't know, like they always have these specific kind of chairs.
Like chairs that were like sent to them. They're
kind of like really over-designed office chairs. They're probably super comfortable. And I think that a lot of these companies give them to streamers for free, so they're going to show up in all their videos. But I like to. I have my feet up on my desk right now. Sometimes I like kick it back.
I tried to get some bean bags for I don't really need them anymore actually, but I reached out to a few beanbag companies thinking like, hey, maybe I get some free bean bags, but never heard back. But I really don't need it anymore. But with the way my setup is now, but at the time I really wanted like something like a bean bag for PVM play.
I see that Steven Schneider is saying he got this on the PS2. Yeah, it has 3 and 4, and they are the arcade version. But that's 3 runs at 240p. That was the game that made me realize that there are PS2 games in 240p. I never really thought about it.
Well, Joey, I am sure you're way better at this game than I am right now. It's interesting that when you reset, there's like a linearity grid.
Yeah, I think that they're just trying to give that arcade experience with it, because that's usually how arcade games, when they boot up, they have like that grid, and they have like a RAM check and stuff like that.
Let's see. I'm gonna customize. Customize with a ripple this time. Is force field and full barrier like the same thing?
I don't know.
I was wondering if I should choose the rotating shield and full barrier.
Is Super R-Type actually as average as people say? You know, when Super R-Type came out, it got very good review. I don't think it's great, but I mean, I'm not a huge R-Type fan. I guess there's a lot that I haven't played. I did really like R-Type Delta. It was I learned how to play that game.
Is that the PS1 game?
Yes, it's very expensive now too. Richard Morgan is asking if you're still looking for that Black Label Tomb Raider. I think you got it.
I do have a Black Label Tomb Raider. Yep. And 2 as well. What I kind of want to get is I want to get the Crash Bandicoot games on PS1, and like the first one's like the Black Label's kind of expensive. I mean, expensive for what it is.
Yeah.
It's like $40, I want to say. It's kind of surprising.
But I think if we do a bonus stream on Tuesday, let's do it during the day.
I don't know. I mean, I don't know if Tuesday would be good for me. But
All right, well, let's see what happens. I mean, you can continue doing whatever you're going to be doing. I'm just going to play some Monster Boy because I think it's important for us to like.
Oh yeah, because it comes out Tuesday. That's right.
I mean, I'll just play it because I want to play. I'll play the Switch version as long as it shows up on time. But Tuesday night, I'm going to be visiting on stream, or guest hearing, starring, I guess is like a weird way to put it, on Classic Gaming Quarterly's live stream.
Ah.
Playing the PlayStation Classic Edition.
I think was it today that Digital Foundry's analysis came out on that? Which
Yeah,
I
haven't
mean,
finished the whole thing, but
I mean, people already knew though what that was going to be like.
yeah.
At that point, it sounds like they made some unbelievable screws. Oh man,
It's pretty weird. I
now that I think about it, I'm not so sure I like the formation option because you can't like double up you can't like concentrate your fire.
I mean, it is such a weird situation because they have a lot of they had a lot of options already available to them. For $100, they could have.
They could have just repackaged a PS TV and taken all the functionality out of it except PlayStation Playback.
Yes, exactly.
And I mean, I want to say John said they were kind of speculating that it could be that before things happened.
Yeah, it's very surprising. Why not do that?
And now PlayStation TVs, I hear, are like going up in price.
Yeah. I mean, they're like $150, $200.
Jeez, like even like used ones, or
yeah.
That's crazy. Considering like they were just like clearance for so long. I mean, I'm glad I got one when I did.
Yeah. Yep, exactly. They should have just used the guts of a Vita or a PSP or something like that. I mean, I don't know why they didn't, and it's such a strange situation. I would love to figure out like why it happened the way it did, and they're capable. Like it's gonna be hard for them to, if they come out with another one, for them to recover from.
Yeah, I mean, I think once enough time has passed that Sony is going to be able to admit that yes, it did not go well. I'm looking forward to the day when Sony execs will be willing and able to talk frankly about what happened.
Yeah, I think it'll be interesting for sure. But I don't know. Like I mean, the only reason I kind of want one now is just because it looks cool. It's like the mini form factor of it. But I don't know. It's such a weird situation.
Yeah.
But I've not finished the video yet. I won't have to. But I really want to do like kind of a little stream about Monster Boy because we can like, just so we can talk about it, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
We were able to get a review copy of Monster Boy because we're doing a big video on the sort of tangled web of the Wonder Boy series and all the other games that have out, and different versions, and it's kind of a big thing that is something we wanted to do for probably 4 years.
Yeah, basically.
Not longer. And this is the perfect time to do it. But we would have loved at one point to release it the day that that Monster Boy was coming out, but it's not going to happen. But in a way to kind of just like raise awareness of the game, we're just going to do a stream and just talk about it. And I like, because we got review codes for the Xbox 360 version, but I feel like the Switch version is going to be like my main version, even though like you finished it today.
Yeah.
And I'm at the end, but I'm seeing if I can get more items, see if it opens up anything additional.
Right. It's kind of crazy because like the information's not out there, so if we're like confused about something, like we've had to ask each other, and it's not an easy game.
It is not an easy game. It is. You're gonna have to put your old school brain on for sure, and just there are puzzles, like not puzzles. There's just like, how do I progress? They're puzzle game. They're puzzles, but they're not. It's not like a typical kind of.
Right. I mean, it's like how do I progress, and like you have to like kind of do a lot of abstract thinking, but in the end it makes sense.
Yeah, it's just sometimes you haven't figured something out. It's like, oh well, I guess I can do that. Yes, I mean I have both the PS4 and Switch physical copies
because you just couldn't resist.
Yeah, and now it's a very, very, very good game.
It's very good, yeah.
There's a lot to it. It's a big game.
I mean, my
it's tough.
finish file was like,
oh, this part is like really, your finish time was like what, like 19 hours?
Yeah, and that was not even getting everything.
Yeah,
like it was like 80%. I thought I'd done more better completion than that, but.
Oh, right. Okay, so here it is on Retronet. They have the big. Let me look at this graph. Okay, so this is only Wonder Boy and Adventure Island. There's much more to it than that.
Much more, yeah.
Most people don't realize that Wampum is a
derivative.
Is a derivative. Is a sequel to.
It's an alternate universe sequel to Wonder Boy Monsterland, essentially.
Yes.
That's definitely one of the weirder tangents.
Yes. And one that we can only go so far into, I guess. But there's a lot of ports of the games, and it's just kind of looking at the different ways to play the games in different versions, and yeah, I mean, there was a point I think where Monster Boy was kind of speculated and kind of pitched and advertised as
a spiritual successor.
Spiritual successor.
It is legit Monster World 5. Like
Yes.
Like straight up. It's got the music. It's got the character names.
It is legit or Wonder Boy 6 Monster World 5.
Yes, it is. That is exactly what it is. It literally is. I mean, what's his name? Ryuichi Ishizawa, I think is his name.
Nishizawa, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, he was credited as, in the credits, I forget exactly what it was. It was like game direction consultant.
Yeah. I mean, it definitely is Monster World. Like, it's straight up it, because there's references, like direct references, and not only that, but
I mean, it's the music. The music's all over the place.
The music is all over the place.
And not only is the music like referencing it though, like the new music, like the original music, like it's easily as good as the remixes. Like it's
yes, exactly.
The soundtrack is incredible.
Yes, it is.
Like there's this like the generic grass area. Like the music there is maybe my favorite video game tune of the year. It's incredible.
Yeah, it is. The music is so good. Yeah, I cannot say enough good stuff about it. But we've been kind of talking about like how we think that what reviewers are gonna think about it, and I think
it's gonna be too old school for it.
I think it's gonna be too old school for a lot of reviewers. I mean, it is a difficult game. I mean,
like a lot, like about maybe a bit,
like near perfection. It's very interesting because it kind of goes back and forth between being very forgiving to being like unforgiving.
Mm-hmm. But the nice thing is like a lot of the stuff that's really difficult is actually like to just get like an optional piece or something like that. But a lot of those things do require like a lot of precision.
Yes. We got a $2 donation. Thank you from Aaron Welsh, who says, "Pay up, boys. Try's gonna need a lot of quarters." What?
What? What?
That's not real, is it?
Is that USDs?
That is. Come on. $100 donation from stage 1.
Wow.
Jeez, I think that might be the biggest donation we have ever gotten.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Holy cow. Whew.
Any comment on that?
There's no comment at all.
Well, if you have any comments, we're
yeah. Oh, it says thank you guys. Heart from the Middle East. Thank you. Holy cow. Gee.
Thank you very, very much. I can't believe my terrible Gradius skills are bringing that kind of appreciation.
But essentially, it's been a very cool situation, like kind of playing this before there's any like FAQs or anything.
There are definitely times where we would have looked stuff up if like we could.
Right, and and to a lesser degree, it's been very similar to Breath of the Wild, but like kind of the same room. It's kind of like, oh, did you find this? How did you do this part? And I mean, if you are a Wonder Boy fan, this is well worth the wait.
Yeah, I mean, like I say, it really is Monster World 5.
Yes, and it is a tough game. It is tough. But it has like a really great Symphony of the Map. It's a really great Symphony of the Night style overworld map or interconnecting map. But it's kind of the way it's overlaid on a overworld map is really cool too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's like an art background that kind of uncovers as you progress.
Yeah.
And so it actually the world layout actually kind of makes sense when you look at it.
Right. It's cool. It is cool, and I probably will go and see if I can get the last items and finish the game after the stream tonight.
Yeah, I mean, I wonder what
I have a feeling I've died a lot more than you have died.
Maybe. I mean,
I seem to think certain things were a lot harder than you did.
Yeah. Oh gosh, this barrier is very distracting. I don't see my. Oh, there is an exclamation mark. For some reason, I thought I didn't have an exclamation mark. Okay, I don't want to choose this barrier again. I did that. It looks like shurikens. It's weird.
So I don't know how it happened, and you know, like I'm not even really like. It's just something to do with my phone when I like don't have anything that's going on. I've gotten into the mobile game Sega Heroes.
Oh yeah.
I'm a big fan of you know, when it comes to like playing games on my phone, I love just like the match.
Wait, where have my options gone? Why don't I have? What happened to my options?
I don't know.
I don't understand where my options went.
I see that Eric T is in the chat, and he'll have to let me know where you're at, and we'll see if I can. It's might be difficult. But yeah, I mean, I think that people will enjoy Maz Boy.
People
Man,
who
that
know what they're
soundtrack-
getting into.
Yes, it's not an easy game. It's not easy.
But it's not
And there's been
unrealistic.
times where I'm like, I can't believe that this part is this hard. But I mean, there is times where it's very forgiving. You know.
Yeah.
There's-
Well, like you figured out a thing this morning. There was a boss that like I just could not figure out, and you notice like something super subtle that happens.
Yeah.
That
Like during like in the phase of a boss change. I'm like, oh.
yeah,
I mean,
like
it's going to require you to put on your old school game thinking. Yeah.
right. I mean, it almost seems like it's designed for you to not figure things out immediately. Like you know,
Yes,
we're kind of
exactly.
spoiled and expected to
And
do
it's
today.
like it does not hold your hand at all. It does not hold your hand. I mean, that's. I will be very interested to see how it is received by reviewers. I don't know if it's going to be received as being great. But it's going to get high marks for looking good. I mean, it's a gorgeous game. It is a gorgeous, gorgeous game.
I kind of wonder if the shield eats my options somehow. I'm going to choose it again. I don't understand why the exclamation mark isn't there. Well, now the exclamation mark is there.
That's true. I mean, where it says, reviewers shouldn't detract points for high difficulty.
But the fact of the matter is they will. Well, because a lot of people will see how old school it is, and so many, you know, your average game journalist, I don't think is going to really have an appreciation for old school design, in the sense that I think most people have this idea that old games are old games, and what we've got now is like objectively better.
Right.
I mean, and certainly we've progressed in many ways, but I think a lot of people have a hard time appreciating like old games for old games' sake.
Right. I mean, it's very obvious that it was a conscious effort. to do it
Yes,
this way.
to not hold your hand, to not you know, to give people the kind of game that they would expect to have been like Monster World 5 on the Saturn, basically.
Right.
It feels like a remake of like a Saturn sequel that never happened.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's a lot of fun. A lot of fun. It's challenging. But I think I'll do the bonus stream just so we can kind of talk about it more openly, I guess, at that point.
Mhm.
Even though we're allowed to give like impressions and everything, like they said that we totally could. I mean, in fact, you like found a bug and like helped them like fix a bug.
Well, I hope they fix it.
Yeah.
And Banjo Guy Ollie's in it.
He is. He's like straight up in it.
Like, I'm kind of jealous. I'm like, I wish I knew that. I would have liked to have tried to got in it. We're big Monster World fans.
Yeah, well, maybe if they do another one. We'll get to the end.
I mean, but you know, it's like the kind of situation where it's like if there isn't another one, like it's a great send up.
Yeah.
And you know, I can't even see my ship because of the sprite limitations. I might have to play this on the Super NT.
It will make it so you don't. It'll still slow down, but it won't. Your chip won't disappear. Right?
Right, I think that's what it would do. I don't think it would affect the slowdown. Oh, what happened? I thought I was going to get the... I thought I was going to get a shield. Oh no!
Yeah, I mean, Ollie actually like you can unlock several of his covers to listen to in the game.
Are they covers that he had done previously? I actually never unlocked them.
Really?
Yeah. Like I thought I was being pretty thorough, but I never managed to get one. Yeah, I saw a Happy Console Gamers video. That was actually what reminded me that I totally forgot that it, like, started off as like Flying Hamster 2.
Is there any video of it being that?
Yeah, it was from a Kickstarter. And it's got like the penguin like guards and everything.
Really?
Yeah. Man, I have no idea what this boss is supposed to be. This is a strange boss. It's
You're
like
doing pretty
robot
good.
volcanoes. But like, that's actually kind of a very Wonder Boy thing in and of itself, that Monster World 5 started off as another game. You know?
Yeah, probably.
It's like almost the reverse of it, really. You know?
Yeah.
Because usually a Wonder Boy game becomes something else. But something else became a Wonder Boy game.
Yes. What is kind of interesting for me is that it kind of makes the original Wonder Boy more of a series, part of the series.
It does, yeah, yeah. I mean, it's only very vague references, but it solidifies him as, you know, part of it.
I mean, it's not a vague reference. I mean, he's
No,
like
I mean, it's not.
straight up in it.
Yeah, I mean, basically.
Tom Tom or Bach. I mean, if I get my copy early enough in the day, definitely.
I never would have guessed though that I would have been beating Monster Boy on Xbox One. I actually didn't even know that they were making an Xbox One version.
Well, the Xbox One version is digital.
Right. Which is the reason that when they gave you a choice of codes, you chose that because it's the only way you can get it.
To be able to,
right, that's the easiest way for us to both play through a game on the same account.
Yeah.
I mean, I played the whole thing using the D-pad. I mean, it's not a bad D-pad on it, you know?
Kid the Gamer, what is your favorite? Your favorite STG? I've been kind of taking to calling him that lately.
I don't think people will really understand what you're talking about, though.
Yeah.
It's a cultural thing.
Yeah.
I mean, shooting game is kind of a weird thing for it too, because then you've got like more run and gun, I guess is kind of what I call like Contra and stuff.
Yeah, but I mean these shooters are definitely.
Yeah, I mean it's a spaceship thing, but like, it's to a newbie that might not be clear.
Yeah. Well, I don't think run and gun would be.
Yeah, well, you're a dude that runs and you have a gun. I mean, how would you define Mega Man? I mean, I lean toward platformer, but I mean, he does shoot.
A run and shoot?
A jump and shoot.
Run, shoot, dodge, jump and shoot, yeah. I don't know. Oh, Smash is out this week too, isn't it?
I have just like zero excitement for that whatsoever. Like I mean,
yeah, well, same here. I mean,
I'm going to get it. Like I've usually not been like among the most excited for Smash, but I'm usually kind of excited. But I guess I already know the dark reality that I'm not actually going to play that much anyway, so.
Yeah. I've not been paying attention to any of the leaks about it.
No. I mean, I don't know if it's supposed to launch with any characters that are totally unknown. I mean, if anything was leaked, I mean, there's probably announced characters that I'm gonna be like, oh, that's cool. I didn't know they were in it when I actually get them because I just haven't been paying attention at all. I mean, I mean, Sakurai did say that.
The Wii U version.
Huh?
I didn't unlock everybody in the Wii U version.
I did that. I mean, I'm sure. I believe Sakurai said that everyone's going to be unlocked relatively easily. I mean, I saw a trailer for the story mode, and it was actually pretty awesome. It was pretty over the top. Like, everyone in the world dies except Kirby. And then Kirby, like, starts saving them one by one.
That's awesome.
Like, it's actually pretty crazy. There's, like, this, like, mega master hand. And there's, like, all of these, like, normal master hands just, like an armada of master hands just, like, falling from the sky. It's like, it's kind of intense.
Oh, so halfway through this level, a ship comes behind and steals your option.
Oh, so like, do I have to avoid it? I did see a strange ship. But I didn't realize it did anything. I assume these rear missiles could hit it. Oh, there, is that it? It's making a strange noise. Oh, there it is. Ah, I avoided it.
Oh, is that one that's just kind of hanging out back there?
Yeah, and then it dashed forward. I mean, you know, you just hold the B button in this, but like, for some reason, it's kind of tiring. I mean, that's where the ASCII pad definitely could come in handy. So, I mean, honestly, are you ever not shooting in this?
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing.
I mean, even in Contra, I tend to shoot all the time. But the difference with Contra is, if you can hold the button to shoot, but if you need to shoot even faster, then you can tap the button.
Oh, is Princess Madeline out soon? Kind of like another Wolves and Ghosts like.
Oh yeah. I saw a trailer.
It's gotta be out soon, right?
Is it going to be a physical thing?
I think limited run is doing it.
Oh, cool. I'll definitely get that. I saw that someone tweeted at Loco Molito, point out that Chris Castillo was in the episode.
Yeah.
And there were a number of what game for that.
Oh, really?
Yeah, a lot.
You handle all the what game is.
I'm pretty on top of that. Most of the time when I don't check it, it's usually like an episode that you handled most of, like EverDrives or something. And especially in like EverDrives or like Saturn and Rhea, like I'm guessing I probably wouldn't actually know what an obscure game that you randomly loaded up on one of those might have been.
Right.
What have been some of the common what games for this episode? That's definitely been one of them. Ys 8 got a lot of these.
That's really surprising too.
Yeah, I kind of figured people would know what it is.
You know, you see I play the PS4 version kind of earlier in the video for a second, then I play the Switch version later on, and it's like it is incredible how much worse the Switch version is than the PS4 version. Like visually, I could not believe it because I mainly played it just like in handheld mode. Mm-hmm. It looks atrocious on TV.
Well, that's kind of how I felt about Valkyria Chronicles 4. Like I played the demo of both the PS4 and Switch versions, and to be honest, I felt like the PS4 version didn't look that good either. Like, I mean, it's very similar to the art style of the original Valkyria Chronicles, but like it's just kind of low res and rough looking. And I mean, the Switch version definitely looked a lot more low res than the PS4 version. It looked pretty bad on the TV screen. But I thought, honestly, the best presentation between the two versions, I thought, was the gamepad screen for Valkyria 4. So that's why I actually, when it was on sale for Black Friday, I actually got the Switch version.
The Vita version I have not played very much. So I don't really have a good answer for you on that. But from what I understand, and like what I've heard, is that the PS4 version is like getting kind of hard to find.
Which is wild. I mean, maybe they didn't print a lot more because of the translation flub.
Maybe. Interesting that it's expensive.
Like what kind of prices have you seen?
Like it's definitely above retail.
That's wild. And it has some PlayStation 4 Pro support. I've been a little unclear on exactly what it does though. It definitely looks like some of the 2D assets are in 4K, but I believe the game resolution is still rendered in 1080p. But I'm not. I don't think Digital Foundry ever did a analysis on it.
Will you make it to at least stage 4?
We'll see. Can you look up how many stages there are? Or someone in the chat probably just knows.
Yeah. Does anybody in the chat know how many stages?
Or I mean, I don't know if this version has all the stages or not. It's kind of cool how there's like rocks inside what I'm cutting through, and then they like fall if like I've cut away enough to make them loose.
General speculation that it's 8, which is typical. Expected.
Oh!
Did you die?
No, it was close though. It gets pretty hectic once you get outside. Oh no! That was like right at the checkpoint. Oh well, gonna be a tough boss. It'd be interesting if I can get past this boss. So I was doing okay toward the end, but it gets really hectic. Maybe I'll try the tail gun for fun. I don't think it's really going to help much on this fight, but yeah.
I mean, much in the same way as the third-party controllers. I mean, I think it'd be fun to do like a third-party accessory episode where you just like look at like random third-party devices. Oh, that was not the boss.
Oh, it had boss music, but it was not the boss. Well, I don't think I'm hurting this thing.
You gotta shoot the core.
Where is the core?
No, you gotta just shoot. You see those little lines, or those are the shields? You gotta shoot.
Oh man, they throw you all the way back here.
Wow, Princess Madeline is available in 3 days on stream, so it's gonna be on Steam. But I think like a third-party accessories would be a lot of fun. I think it'd
be fun to look at like grip controllers. Like normally you'd kind of probably look at and go, it's stupid. But I mean, it might be fun to like actually like look at them like, for real and be like, is there any advantage? Like, at first I tried really hard to play Mario Kart Wii with the wheel. But once I worked up to 150cc, like I just could not do it. And like switching over to the Wii Remote and Nunchuck was like, I went from like getting last place on the first race to like lapping the last place person in one attempt.
Really?
Well, I'm not going to be able to rebuild anything at this point, so maybe I'll just pick something else on Super Nintendo to kick back wood for a few minutes.
Okay.
Let me see what I can pull off the shelf. Let me know if you have any ideas.
So it looks like. So Battle Princess Madeline is so PlayAsia is going to have a physical copy. Interesting. Okay.
Oh, PlayAsia is Limited Run doing one or not?
I thought that they were. I thought they were during their Kickstarter, but maybe not. You should play Sparkster.
It's not worth playing Sparkster right now. I'll tell you what I'll play. Just play you some F-Zero. Why not?
Okay.
I have never really analyzed the vehicles in this game. All I know is my friend from back in the day who had this game. Like, he always was Samurai Goro, so I just took that as, okay, he's the best character, and I don't really need to think too hard about how the others control. I've never really analyzed them. I've never been like a huge fan of the first F-Zero, but I feel like I've started to appreciate it a bit more in recent years. I actually sold it several years ago and rebought it more recently.
I really like this one.
Yeah, I mean, mainly because I thought, like, you know, it's such an iconic Super Nintendo game. It's just, it's a good thing to have, good thing to capture. And I do enjoy it whenever I, you know, just play it for a little bit for capture. I usually end up playing a few more levels than I need to. But I do find that, like, I get pretty bad, like, after the first bit.
When you go over that ramp, you got to hold down.
Down?
To land, so you won't bounce when you land.
Oh.
Come on.
I mean, Mario Kart was kind of what sold me on the Super Nintendo.
Yeah.
Like, I was, like, I kind of didn't like the idea of the Super Nintendo because I saw it as, like, taking away from what I had, which was, the NES, of course. I was just kind of grumpy about it for a long time because I figured, like, my parents probably wouldn't let me have another system, and then it kind of turned out to not really be a problem. But yeah, it was like Mario Kart. I mean, that blew me away. Like, I think for me, I didn't see a lot of difference between polygon 3D and this kind of 3D. Like, I liked Stunt Race FX a lot. I still like Stunt Race FX, actually. Feel it's an underrated game. But like, I didn't understand what was the big deal about, like, Star Fox and Stunt Race FX style polygons versus this. Like, to me, this was still 3D. You were moving in 3D space.
Oh yeah.
Our other friend hated F-Zero and hated Star Fox, so I didn't really give either game much of a chance for a long time. And then when the N64 or the Nintendo Power tape, Star Fox tape came, and, like, both of us were like, whoa, this looks good. And he's like, yeah, I'll admit, even though I hate Star Fox on the Super Nintendo, I'm probably gonna have to get that. And so he got it the first day, and then I, like, stayed at his house that night, and then the next day when I went home, like, I went and got myself. So That's how, the original Star Fox, I know that or Star Fox 64, coming from that perspective, I'm sure you can see why I was always more into 64. Because I didn't really play much of the original. But once I've really gone back and given it a chance, the original Star Fox, it is a very good game, and it holds up way better than you would think.
Yeah.
And the music is fantastic.
The soundtrack, I think, is a lot better than the 64.
I mean, I like the 64 soundtrack a lot, but I will agree that the Corneria theme is
well,
so much
Space Armada level is
I don't remember this. I mean, the track I think of when I think of the original Star Fox is
Corneria.
It's Corneria. Sure, I mean, it's an amazing track.
But the Space Armada, definitely. I mean, Space Armada even got a version in Smash. Had a remix in Smash.
Yeah, as it should.
What are some of the key differences between Switch Sega Ages version of Phantasy Star versus the Sega Genesis Classics Collection? It is not. Phantasy Star 1 is not on the Sega Genesis Classics Collection.
Because it's not a Sega Genesis game.
Right. But in terms of the differences, there's a lot more options per game. I mean, you can play in various screen sizes. There's a number of enhancements made to the game, such as different difficulty levels and auto map. That's kind of the difference, between just emulating the games and what M2 does. M2 ports the games and rebuilds them and adds in features that fit within the.
I mean, it's it's emulation, but it's they hook in a lot of additional features and layers, a lot.
Yes. Yeah.
I downloaded to my Xbox One the Monster World collection that is for Xbox 360. Mm-hmm. And those same games were released individually for PS3, but I was very impressed. I didn't realize it was M2 at first.
Oh, yeah.
And the scaling options are fantastic. The only beef I have with it is that you can't totally turn off the border. There is a none option, but it's actually a gray gradient. It's not totally black.
Yeah, I don't understand that. That's something that's kind of persisted ever since they've gone to HD.
Mm-hmm. You can turn on. Well, can you turn off borders in the 3D classics?
Probably. Well, MAO 7891, I will be hopefully within the next month have the best way to play the original Phantasy Star game. I don't think it's going to be that crazy of a...
Yeah, but you're also going to be doing the best way to play Wonder Boy in Monster World.
Yes.
Although that's more of a joint effort.
It is much more of a joint effort for one thing, and I think that there's a lot of material there that it's going to take a while to gather. So that might be in January when that comes out, whether or not we want it to be the case or not.
That's possible.
But I mean, we ideally, we'd release them both this month. Phantasy Star with FM sound is the best. I do not agree.
I also do not agree.
I'm a big fan of the PSG sound versus the FM sound.
Yeah. I mean, I am not a Master System kid, and I didn't grow up with it, so I don't have nostalgia for the old sound, but FM sound to me always sounds like it's out of place. It feels like it doesn't belong. It feels like, oh, here's this thing let's do something weird with the music. Like, it doesn't feel like they're adding to the music. It just feels like they're doing something weird with it. Like, it just doesn't sound natural to
me. It sounds too...
smooth.
Like it sounds too smooth.
Yeah, I just... I can't think of
edges to those square waves on there.
Yeah, I mean, I can't think of exactly what games it may have been, but I have played some Master System games where I was like, oh, okay, the FM sound is okay in this, but definitely, in my opinion, not Fantasy Star.
Yeah, pretty much. Fantasy Star, I think the PSG and Fantasy Star one is awesome.
What would you say has the best FM sound on? If you had to pick one that did have good FM sound, what would you
pick? The FM in Govelius. I mean, I don't know. Like, if I am given a choice, I guess the Outrun FM is pretty good.
Man, that $100 is still lingering there.
I know.
If you're still there, thank you again.
That's crazy. It's crazy. If we can't end the stream before that $100 is gone.
Sometimes when I'm recording footage, I'll play to this level, but then I'm like, I can't use this because it's like this level without the context of like what level this is. Like, it's Deathwind. Like, it looks weird. Like, why are you driving sideways?
Do you use RGB limited for PC gaming?
I mean, I don't really do a whole lot of PC gaming. Honestly, I can't even think off the top of my head what my setup is set for right now. It's
I've recently
probably
gone full for everything.
Yeah, because the PS4 is very annoying. The PS4 is very fond of just going back to automatic settings, which will force full, at least on our setups, and it is annoying. I'm still unlimited, but I can see like the wisdom of why you've done that. The Xbox, like the Xbox One user interface is like awful, but there are a number of things about the system experience that I do like, and one of them is how video settings are handled. If it detects that if it detects that it can't use the settings you have set, it will automatically do appropriate settings, but it won't overwrite your chosen settings. So if you then, when you are back in your normal scenario, it'll play your normal settings as they should be. And it's got nice calibration tools.
Right.
Have you found the puzzle in Monster Boy that is like a RGB puzzle? It's
no, is it a place to get one of the gold things?
I forget if it was that or if it was a gem. I forget which one it was, but there's like these like color filters, and you have to like line them up in certain ways to like get like an order.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's one of those chests where you have to like open it with a spell, but like you have to do a certain order of spells.
Oh, interesting. Classic Gaming Quarterly is in the chat saying this isn't Gradius 3. He played Gradius 3 until 8 minutes ago, or 10 minutes ago.
Yeah, I was not at a point where I would be able to do much within a reasonable time frame.
You gotta hold down when you go off the ramp before you land.
Oh, well, I did, didn't I?
No, I saw that bounce. I saw that booty bounce.
This, I think it was the Super NT episode I used this track in. This is a great track. It makes me think of Mega Man 7 soundtrack, which is a soundtrack I'm quite fond of.
Interesting. I wonder if they were inspired by this.
Maybe. Oops. That was not the brake button. That was the go really fast button when I don't want to.
Yeah, I mean, they should just port GX to the Switch.
Yeah. That's all you need to do. I don't think that is what they'll do.
No.
I mean, I've been saying that, like, since the Mario Kart, I mean, every system has only had one Mario Kart, unless I'm forgetting something. I'm pretty sure I'm not.
Mm-hmm.
And
do you think there will be a Mario Kart 9 on Switch?
We'll see. I mean, obviously, we're kind of in a weird place where, you gotta wonder, like, is Nintendo going to, like, try to keep up the Switch for a long time through, hardware upgrades or something like that? It's hard to guess right now. But, I mean, if there will be, I think it'll be a long time. And my thinking was, since they've got Mario Kart 8 on the Switch, and, that was easy for them to do because they'd already developed it. And it is a much better version. The double items helps the game a ton. Because the biggest problem I had with the game was that dragging items doesn't take them out of your inventory. But that solves that problem. So, I mean, my thinking was, they've got like the F-Zero DLC levels and stuff. Like, maybe that was a little practice.
It's true.
So
one could hope.
Why not make an F-Zero instead of another Mario Kart for at least a while? It's probably the best opportunity to do it.
What do I think is the next best way to play Phantasy Star 4 is after original hardware. I mean, I don't even know if I would say that the original hardware would be the best way to play it. I think the Sega Ages 2500 Phantasy Star collection on the PS2 is the best way to play the game. All at least 2, 3, and 4. 1, it's kind of, I mean, it's hard to choose, maybe, I guess. I mean, I guess, like, I think that'd be true for the first one as well, probably. Just because it has, I mean, they all play in 240p. They all have the English versions on there. They have 240p, they have 480i, they have 480p, and they have 480p scan lines. And the scan line look great. But the difficulty is like the big thing. I mean, you can keep it on normal, like the original difficulty, or if you go to like easy, it gives you double experience and double money per fight. You can do very easy, which gives you 4 times experience and 4 times money per fight, which it just speeds things up. And with the first one, I guess you can make it easy. You can make it so you hold down a button and it will like double the speed of the game, which is, you know, kind of a fast forward in a way. It's kind of nice. The other ones have, you can adjust, you can make it so your characters walk faster and stuff like that. But kind of the big thing, especially, well, for part 3, the big thing, I mean, if you're into doing this kind of thing, the original cartridge for 3 only had 2 save slots on it, and if you played it, you'd know that it has 4 endings. So the only way to really see all those endings, you're going to have to start over at least twice. Well, I mean, at least you're going to have to start over at least one time, and you're going to have to, you know, play through the second generations again. It gets challenging to kind of work with all that. But they added 4 save slots to that version, so you can have a save slot with each of the endings if you wanted to.
And so the Japanese version of that comes with the American versions as well?
Yeah, it has the American ROMs on it as well.
So you don't even need like a fan hack of it.
Nope. All you need is a
awesome.
Japanese PlayStation 2.
How much is that?
That collection?
Yeah.
Look it up real quick. I can look it up. I don't know how much that one goes for. I know that the Monster World collection is the same way. A lot of those M2 releases are the same way, where they have all the English versions on there as well.
We're available. Obviously, Monster World 4 didn't at that time.
Yeah, man, I would love for English version. Or just like an English physical copy of that. Okay.
The Text Adventures, I think, is a different disc, right? A different game?
Yes, it's 2 discs, actually. It's split across 2 discs. It's on the Sega Games can.
What's the one?
Another thing that might be interesting to some. Like the what?
This is like the this one.
Did I give it to you?
You gave it to me, yeah.
Okay, it's just a cartridge that has all the English versions.
It's not a cartridge.
Oh, you're talking about that, the Sega Ages. I thought you were talking about the Text Adventures. That's the remake.
Just the remake.
Yes. That's volume 1. So the Sega Ages 2500 Phantasy Star Complete Collection is volume 32.
Oh, this is volume 1, yeah.
Yeah. That is the remake of the first game. It looks like the complete collection goes from anywhere from $65 to $100. There was a remake for 1 and 2.
Does it just like load the whole ROM at the start? There's like no load times in between, in like during gameplay.
There's no load times. You should put it on your PS2 to check it out. I think you will be impressed. It is like honestly.
What, this?
I mean.
You mean the HD loader?
Yeah. That one right there. There's a fan translation for that, and I was not. I didn't love it for a long time, and I don't love it now. But I think I've come to understand it a little bit better, and think that it's not as bad as I thought at first. The problem with it is that it does not treat the game with the respect that it probably deserved to have.
Yeah, but in a sense, though, I mean, first of all, you gotta consider the time it was made, and like people hadn't yet developed or gotten a handle on how you upgrade 2D games for today.
Yeah.
You know, I think it was at a time where people just didn't know how to do that. But the fact that it was the first volume of the 2500 series, I feel like that in itself is a gesture of respect.
Yes. But it's not what, and I see like Tony Galvin says it in the chat, says it is not a good game. It is not a great. It is not a good game.
It's an interesting thing to have, though.
Yes, and I think that I played up until. I played about halfway through it, and I thought it was like it was bearable. I didn't think it was as bad as I thought it was going to be. As I had said it was like in earlier videos.
I think Sega eventually realized that with the budget that they were giving those games, M2's approach was the right approach, which was let's present the original game as best as we can rather than making a cheap remake.
Right.
You know, and that is what is nice about emulated releases, because it is like presenting the original game. Yes, there can be lag, there can be issues, you know, but they can try to do it the best they can. But that, at the very least, it's like, they can edit the ROM and stuff, but there is more of an air of authenticity of I am playing the original version.
Yes. Yes, it is. You should get that collection. I think it just like removes a lot of the grind, but it doesn't change the difficulty level. It just like removes the grind, which for part 2 especially is it's kind of a big deal.
Yeah, I could still see
those are also available on PS3 on PlayStation Network,
like the M2 versions.
Yeah.
Like it's Japanese PSN or American PSN?
Japanese PSN. But you can play the English versions. That was my kind of first experience with that. So if you have a Japanese account, listen, we can't end the stream until that $100. I would feel terrible.
I think it's getting close.
It's got to be pretty close.
But I guess this week I'm going to be working on the GameCube stuff with the intent of getting that out
Saturday, hopefully. Saturday at 11 a.m.
That would be the hope. We'll see. I
don't know. That's the hope, but we have a lot of the material.
Right, we do. But that's kind of been it's been a process that hasn't turned out like I expected, so it's hard to be certain, but I'm feeling confident I can get it out.
It was hard to stop it and change gears, but at least that turned out to be really worth it.
Yes. I'm glad. In a way, I'm glad that the controllers episode got done that way, because I feel like if I didn't have to just like do that like concentrated rush to get the controller stuff done, I think I would have gotten sick of them if I had spread it out longer. So I think it was good to do it that way. Man, Monster Boy.
Yeah. We'll do a bonus stream.
It's a good game.
Of that on well, I kind of want to do that on YouTube. Let's do it on YouTube. The Monster Boy bonus stream.
Yeah. Well, hopefully it's early in the day. That's the day that Sandy's getting spayed. So.
Oh yeah, that is.
But
I see. Okay.
If it's earlier in the day, it shouldn't be a problem because she'll be at the vet.
Yeah.
I don't really know what to expect when she gets home. I was obviously very young when my previous dog got spayed, so I don't have a lot of memories of like. I mean, I don't really know what to expect. She'll probably just sleep. I don't know.
Well, I mean, my son had his tonsils out on Thursday, and it's gonna be kind of a weird experience, I think. For him.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know a whole lot about like. I mean, that's a thing you hear about kids happening to kids. You know, so and so is out because he's getting his tonsils taken out. Like that's just like, you know, that's a thing. But I don't really know that much about it. Like,
it was a pretty quick procedure. Yeah, he slept for like 16 hours yesterday, which is not something he does.
Like, did he understand like what he was going to the doctor for?
Well, it's just been his tonsils have been they were problematic in the way that I don't know what it was, but it just like kept on getting sick. Like he had strep throat 3 times in a month.
Oh gosh.
So, I mean that was like kind of a regular occurrence. Every winter he would get it multiple times.
What do tonsils even do? I don't even know.
A lot of people will say that I mean tonsils have been like just like a remainder of after like human evolution has made them unnecessary. But I think it just like block like food from going down. Like I don't know. Like I don't know exactly what they do. It's like it's tonsils and like andenoids or something like that. It's like such a weird andenoids. I don't know. Part of the immune system. People can like bacteria and stuff. But he just kept on getting sick. I mean, he had it like so many times, and it's like adenoids, yeah.
I don't know.
But I mean, it's we just need to get taken care of because he was getting sick too much from them. So I don't know. I think he's gonna be happier, a happier person.
I'm sure.
Yep. All right, is that gonna do it?
I guess that'll do.
Thanks for watching, everybody. Thank you for all donations.
Yeah.
I cannot believe that $100.
That's crazy. So generous. Thank you.
And I'll try to do a bonus stream at some point on Tuesday. I don't know exactly if we'll see.
All right. Your mail tends to come early in the day, right?
It depends.
All right. Good night.
Good night, everybody.